Let's have a look at a set of results coming out of a JSE-listed company. This company was listed in 2008. It's not what we talk about very often, so we should pay some attention to it because it came up with its results today. Let me tell you what the company does first of all. Insimbi, Refractory and Alloy Supplies Limited released its 2015 report for the company and its subsidiaries today, showing a satisfactory first half result, and it provides the steel, aluminium, cement and foundry industries with resource-based commodities. In the studio in Johannesburg is Pieter Schutte, who's the CEO. You had earnings per share from continuing operations up 30%, Pieter. You must be quite satisfied with the second half performance.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and your viewers. Yeah, I think so. If you again split the year into two halves, first half, you know, you had the NUMSA strike, which had a bit of a negative effect on our results in the first half. Second half, a much better result due to various reasons which we can probably discuss a little bit later. But I think if you look in general overall at the economy, economy is still in a very depressed market, particularly supplying the steel industry. We all know what's going on with the competitiveness, the costs, the price of steel, but happy, very, very satisfied with the results.
Yes, I mean the steel industry worldwide is under pressure because of quite honestly what I think is a slowing down of the world economy, or rather a stagnation, not slowing down but just going sideways. And then we've got our own local issues. So you're battling on the international and the local front.
That's correct, yes. Over the last sort of 3-4 years, we've decided more to focus particularly into Africa. We believe that is a growing market for us. And yes, we've had some great success out of Africa. South America, the rest of Europe, South Asia sort of thing, not as great as what we were hoping for, but I think we know the global economy, what is the conditions in the global economy. Predominantly, we still focus on South Africa. I think we probably do around about 75% of our businesses in the local market. We've seen, as we've discussed earlier, the steel industry. We know the cement industry, where we supply the refractory products to them. They under stress situations as well. We've seen the Department of Trade in India just issued some import tariffs on Pakistani cement, and hopefully this will help for us into the upcoming year that's lying ahead of us.
I was talking to David Shapiro from Sasfin just before you came on, Pieter, and he was talking in not a negative way, but in a cautious way about Africa. And you're saying that Africa is an exciting prospect for you. That's reading between the lines. That's what you said. And I just thought about this. And on Africa Day, I sort of sat down and I thought about two things. Number one, that Nigeria, the largest economy on the continent, has got fuel problems, and yet it's the biggest producer of oil, crude oil anyway, on the African continent, and South Africa has supply disruptions. And I just thought maybe you should be cautious. Have you experienced problems in your foray into Africa?
I mean, dealing in Africa is always a risk, and I think it's a calculated risk that we need to take. I still believe, you know, there's some growing economies out of Africa. I understand the Nigerian situation. It's something that we need to be aware of and be conscious about it and how we approach that sort of market. But it's not only in Nigeria, you know, there's different countries. I mean, a lot has been talking about Zimbabwe. It's now the right time. Mozambique, Kenya, that we are looking into, Angola, sort of thing. So there's more than just Nigeria, although Nigeria is an important part of our business into Africa.
In your prospect statement, Pieter, you say the following: Insimbi will continue to look for opportunities and we are prepared for risks, which is of course laudable. We will continue to service the local market to the best of our ability, but at the same time focus on emerging markets. It's almost as though you're saying, yeah, we'll do what we can in South Africa and we'll do what we can outside when opportunities arise. Are those opportunities there, and are they at the right price? I'm talking about acquisitions now.
As we said over the years, you know, we always got an appetite for acquisitions. I don't know if you're aware there's a cautionary currently out where we are busy with. I think that's the difficulty in the current market situation is you've got a mind of two. You've got a mind of the seller and you've got a mind of a buyer. And I think the trick is, you know, to get those two minds together. And that is something that we've been struggling with over the years. We have made some acquisitions we listed in 2008 on Altex. We have bought 2 secondary aluminium smelters. We've gone into a joint venture with Insimbi Nanomilling, where we produce these days proudly South Africa PVA paints that we've struggled through over the years. So we are busy diversifying, and I think this is the success of Insimbi is we weren't focused. And I think if you look at last year's, specifically steel segmented results to this year's steel segment, we probably halved our revenue this year compared to last year, although we still had an increase of over 2% on revenue, which is purely based on our diversification, number one, and number two is the turnaround of our secondary aluminium smelters. So yes, there always will be opportunities in South Africa, but I think for us to be the supplier we would like to be, we need to look further abroad than just South Africa. And you can see and you can feel the cracks coming through in the economy currently with the load shedding, and you look and talk to our customer base sort of thing, it's becoming an issue, it's becoming a problem with cost driven and higher sort of thing, and people are re-evaluating their situations in South Africa, and that's a concern for us as a major supplier into the South African market.
Pieter, we'll leave it there, but I like your realism and I like your optimism as well. Thanks very much for your time this lunchtime. That's Pieter Schutte, who's the CEO of Insimbi, whose numbers were released earlier today.